Awesome, and thanks so much for being on this call. If you're watching this live, let us know where you're coming in from. Let us know any of your wins for the week. And if you're watching the recording, so glad that you're here and able to make the time and the space to watch these calls. I hope you get something out of it. Even if you get a little bit out of it and it makes a shift and a change, it's a win. Because transformation does take time. It's not just going to all happen in one day. We can't be an amazing athlete without doing the training and doing the groundwork. We can't be an amazing artist or a musician without doing the groundwork and practicing. Transformation is no different because we're working with us. We're working with our consciousness and a whole lot of stuff that's in our way of creating. So I know that when I first started this work in the masterclass, it took me 6 to 12 months just to remove a majority of stuff that's in the way so I could actually have the ability to start taking actions and making videos and getting clients and creating a coaching company. It takes time. And this is no different at all. So thanks for being here. I love having you here, and feel free to take down any notes as you choose. So suffering from anxiety. Oh, anxiety is a tough one. I certainly noticed that in my work, if the anxiety and the depression is there and it's quite bad in a client, it's one of the two biggest fears that people just really get stuck on. They can't actually shift. And there is a technique and a reason why we get anxiety, and I'll get more into that shortly. But I certainly know in my past and my experiences, I used to experience anxiety whenever I wanted to go out into public, into groups of people. And a lot of my friends, my mates, my family thought this was really bizarre. I didn't really share it much over the years because it was something I thought everybody had. So I was just dealing it in my way the best I could. But it wasn't at all, because some of my friends didn't get anxiety. Later on in the years when I actually started asking them, do you experience this, that, and the next thing? Some were like, yeah, a little. Some were like, no, but I experienced something else. So it made me wonder, where does all this anxiety come from and how do we have it? So my big sabotaging belief of don't belong meant that I don't belong in the world. That's what my unconscious was thought. That's what I believed because of the experiences and stuff that I had as a child and in mum's tummy, etc. Now, when I was able to clear all that, I was able just to go into a group of people and feel relaxed and feel fun and just go, yeah, I belong. It was such a different experience. But prior to doing the recodes and the work around it, I used to get anxiety. Now, the anxiety is a fear of the future. Depression is a fear of the past, and we'll cover depression on another call. But if you're experiencing any form of anxiety, that means you have a fear of the future. Now, what anxiety was doing for me, and you'll better relate to this in your own way, is because it didn't want me to go into a public environment with a group of people. It didn't want me to do videos and go online and do lives and make content, because when you have the don't belong, you have the natural fear of being judged or rejected. So you're going out there continuously to take action to belong and hope that you don't experience rejection or being judged. Excuse me. But what happens is you create the environment or the community, or you set that intention to go to this group where there's a whole large of people, a wedding, an engagement, a family reunion, whatever, and you start getting anxiety beforehand because it's the fear of being there. Now, what the unconscious was using, it was using anxiety on past memories of not belonging and using that anxiety in my field, making me feel and experience it to try and stop me from going to that event, trying to stop me from being in that event with other people. Now, the reason why it was doing that is because it believed that if one person judges or rejects me in that group, then it's going to prove to me that I don't belong, and that's going to feel really bad, and it doesn't like experiencing feelings of badness or pain. It avoids it. So to avoid me experiencing the pain, I'll put anxiety in the way to try and stop you, and just put more and more and more until you stop doing what you're doing. Now, I've been anxiety free now for a couple of years, which is pretty crazy when I think about it. But it wasn't easy to have anxiety and try to deal with it, try to manage it, try to push it to the side, because the unconscious is going to continuously create it until you do a recode and remove the emotion and feeling off the memory. Now, you may be able to reprogram and have some wins and do some processes where you actually start feeling okay about going out into public. But you must remove the emotion of feeling off the memory. That's key. And the superconscious recode, where you rewire the brain, is the quickest way to do it. And if you'd like to experience a life without any anxiety, reach out and you can jump on a call and I'll share it with you. There's another process what I've created called the 3 circle. Also works very well because we have a whole lot of neurons in our brain, our heart, and our gut, and we need to disconnect the emotion of feeling off the memory that's causing the pain, that the unconscious can use to cause the pain. And when we do that, memory then becomes wisdom and it serves us, and we're able to go and create and have what we want, have more satisfaction and less pain. So this anxiety that we experience, having a fear of the future, it's because the unconscious believes that if you do that, if you experience that, you're going to experience more pain. So imagine if you wanted to go up and be in a performance and be on stage, but when you were younger, you did a little bit of that and the teacher or your schoolmate said you're useless or you're terrible, you suck, whatever it may be, and that hurt your feelings. The unconscious doesn't want you to experience that again and be ridiculed. So it'll try to get you to avoid that scenario because your conscious brain is thinking and knowing you're going to go there. Could be the same if you were ridiculed for painting, but you love art and you just paint when you're younger and you stopped at some stage because everyone said you were bad at it. And then you might have also all of a sudden registered to go along to an art class or something. You'll get anxiety before that because your unconscious doesn't want you to go in case you experience poor pain. Can you see that? We've got past memory that has anxiety attached to it. We've got a future event that we want to go to. And as we start thinking about, the anxiety gets put in the field in between to try and stop us in case we get in a situation that feels really bad. And that's what our unconscious is doing around anxiety. Now, there's a whole lot of myths and ideas about anxiety and what it is and however it is. I'll actually read out to you what Google says. Mr. Google says about anxiety. Anxiety is a feeling of fear, which we know, dread or uneasiness. It might cause you to sweat, feel restless and tense, and have a rapid heart rate. It can be a normal reaction to stress. For example, you might feel anxious when faced with a difficult problem at work, before taking a test or before making an important decision. Now, that is all true because it uses all that to stop you having this because it feels it's going to get into discomfort. So, for example, there, if we look at feeling anxious when faced with a difficult problem, that's because in the past, when we're faced with a difficult problem, it didn't turn out that good, so we just don't want to relive that. If we look at taking a test, it may mean that in the past we failed a test. So the unconscious doesn't want to do it again because it doesn't want to experience failure, which is feeling of bad. And it says there, or before making an important decision. Last time I made a decision, I got it wrong and it was bad and it was terrible and it sucked and I felt terrible for ages. The unconscious doesn't want to go there again, so it'll avoid making decisions. So now we understand how that works. If you're experiencing anxiety every day, for example, let's ask yourselves, why does that happen? Why do I experience anxiety after a period of time when I'm not taking any action? I'm just sitting here watching the clock tick by and I feel anxious. That's because survival patterns of your unconscious survived you having anxious for 4 to 6 weeks. It takes it up on as a new habit for survival and wants to keep recreating it. And that's where we get so lost and confused and stuck because we're not taking action on anything on it anymore because it feels too bad, it hurts too much, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. But I've now got anxious as a survival pattern purely for survival because I survived having it for 6 to 8 weeks even, and the unconscious keeps recreating it. Like everything that you do over a pattern, if you survive it, the unconscious will want you to keep creating it. Because our unconscious is designed for survival and feeling, but it's designed for longevity of life. It wants you to have a big, long life and be safe and just go for it. But it only knows yes or no. It doesn't make decisions or anything like that. That's your conscious and your intuition that allows that information to come through. Your superconscious to create that. Your unconscious simply yes or no. Whatever you tell it, it'll do. Whatever you don't tell it, it won't do. If you tell it, no, I'm not good enough, no, I'm not good enough, no, I'm not good enough, and you think it enough, you'll take on a belief that you are not good enough. So every time you go to do something, you'll just believe that you're not good enough and you won't be able to take the action. So if you're experiencing anxiety, and I know that sucks if you are, reach out and we can have a call and we can just remove it. It's a really easy process. It's only $129 US, takes 30 to 60 minutes, and it's just done. And that link's on my webpage, GregJonesNZ.com, 65% off. Because let's just get rid of it. Let's not experience anxiety anymore because it's just a pain. So what else about anxiety can Mr. Google tell us? Well, if we go down to 5 symptoms of anxiety. So this is what your unconscious is using to stop you taking that action. Feeling nervous, restless, or tense. Having a sense of impending danger, panic, or doom. Having an increased heart rate, breathing rapidly, sweating, trembling, feeling weak or tired. Double concentrating or thinking about everything other than the present worry. All of it is the fear of the future, of experiencing discomfort. Now, you won't even know exactly what the memory are that it's using in most cases until we do the recode and it shows itself. And the thing about it is we don't have to talk about the problems or the past. It's not about that. It's just about removing the anxiety so your unconscious can't use it anymore to stop you taking action on your future creations. Is this resonating with you? Who's getting this? Throw a yes in the comments and let me know that you're experiencing this and you get it. Because anxiety is one of the hardest concepts. It's probably one of the top 3 around depression and not good enough that really knocks us back in mental health. But we don't have to put up with it anymore. We don't have to let it go over and take over our lives and then become a pattern that we're just living it every day. We don't need to anymore. It's not needed in our future self. So if you're experiencing that, please reach out. We can jump on a call and we'll just remove it. So that was the suffering of anxiety that I want to talk to you about. I want to explain why we have it, how we get it, and that it's just a fear of the future on taking action on something that we want. And if you've got any questions around this, throw in the comments. I'll get to it as soon as I can as well. Or you can email me at info@GregJonesNZ.com. Happy to answer the emails, reach out, contact in any way or form. Because life without anxiety is so much better than with it. And I'm a statement for that because I've been there, I've done it, and I know what it's like. And I see it in all my clients. It's one of the first things that we remove in the first couple of weeks if a client's got it, because it's not a nice thing to experience. Because if you've got, if you think about public speaking, if you've got a public speaking event coming up, you want to talk at a wedding or in front of your team, or just be on stage introducing someone or at a concert or whatever, and you're getting anxiety around it, it's not a good thing. Because that anxiety is going to continuously work against that creation until it's finished, until it's over. And that means you're going to lose your words, you'll get body sweats, you might muck things up, you won't be able to say exactly what you want to nice and clearly. It'll work all the way through it until you get out of that situation of where it believes you're going to be ridiculed. So I hope you got something out of that call. There's a group call for today. Let me know in the comments too if you'd like me to keep doing these calls or just do random lives. Just put in comments live or yes please, and I'll keep doing these calls on a Monday. But I do notice that a lot of you are watching that as a recording, which is fine, which is cool because I know that we're busy. But I could be just do lives, etc., randomly during the week for different times, so then it could suit more of you rather than just a set time on a Monday. So I'll leave it up to you to let me know. Give me some feedback. Let me know what it is for you. So thank you so much for being on this call. Reach out if you need some help. See you again.